The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution stands as a testament to the Founding Fathers' foresight and wisdom. It recognizes the inherent right of the people to keep and bear arms, a right deeply rooted in the principles of self-defense, liberty, and resistance against tyranny. The Second Amendment is not merely about hunting or sport shooting, it is about the fundamental right of a free people to defend themselves, their families, their communities, and their nation against any threat, both foreign and domestic. This right is not granted by the government but is inherent in the very nature of human beings. It is an individual right that predates any form of government. The Second Amendment was born out of the experiences of the American colonists who had just fought a war of independence against a tyrannical government. They understood firsthand the dangers of an overreaching government and the importance of a well-armed citizenry as a deterrent to tyranny. They knew that the right to bear arms was essential for the preservation of liberty and the maintenance of a free state. The Founding Fathers enshrined this right in the Constitution to ensure that future generations of Americans would never be disarmed and left vulnerable to oppression. The Second Amendment reads, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." This language is clear and unambiguous. It recognizes that the right to bear arms is a pre-existing right of the people, not a privilege granted by the government. The purpose of the Second Amendment is not to promote hunting or sport shooting, but to ensure the security of a free state, by guaranteeing the right of the people to form militias and to be armed for their own defense. The Second Amendment is not an antiquated relic of the past, but a vital and relevant safeguard of freedom in the 21st century. As long as the threat of tyranny exists, so too does the need for a well-armed citizenry. The Founding Fathers understood this, and their wisdom continues to guide us today. The right to bear arms is absolute. Any restrictions on this right are unconstitutional. The government does not have any right or power to regulate or restrict any of your rights. What part of "shall not be infringed" is so hard to understand? The Founding Fathers, the architects of the United States Constitution, held a profound belief in the importance of a well-armed citizenry as a safeguard against tyranny. They understood that when a government disarms the citizens, the government can easily trample on the rights of its citizens. They had witnessed firsthand the dangers of a tyrannical government during their struggle for independence from Great Britain, and they were determined to prevent such tyranny from taking root in the newly formed nation. Thomas Jefferson, the primary author of the Declaration of Independence and the third President of the United States, expressed his views on the importance of an armed citizenry in numerous writings. In a letter to John Cartwright, Jefferson wrote, "The strongest reason for the people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is, as a last resort, to protect themselves against tyranny in government." Jefferson believed that a well-armed citizenry was the ultimate check on government power, and that the ability of the people to defend themselves against tyranny was essential for the preservation of liberty. Noah Webster, a prominent lexicographer and political writer of the time, echoed Jefferson's sentiments. He wrote, "Before a standing army can rule, the people must be disarmed, as they are in almost every kingdom in Europe. The supreme power in America cannot enforce unjust laws by the sword, because the whole body of the people are armed, and constitute a force superior to any band of regular troops that can be, on any pretense, raised in the United States." Webster understood that a well-armed citizenry served as a powerful deterrent to tyranny by ensuring that the government could not impose its will on the people by force. The Founding Fathers' belief in the importance of a well-armed citizenry was not limited to rhetoric. It was enshrined in the Constitution itself. The Second Amendment, which guarantees the right of the people to keep and bear arms, was not included in the Bill of Rights by accident or oversight. It was a deliberate and essential component of the Founders' vision for a free and secure nation. They understood that the right to bear arms was not only essential for self-defense, but also for the defense of liberty itself. The Founding Fathers' vision of a well-armed citizenry as a bulwark against tyranny remains as relevant today as it was in the 18th century. Governments throughout history have demonstrated a propensity to abuse their power, and the United States is not immune to this threat. The Second Amendment stands as a constant reminder that the ultimate power in a free society resides in the hands of the people, and that the right of the people to defend themselves against tyranny is non-negotiable. The Second Amendment serves as a crucial check on governmental power. It's not just about the right to bear arms, it's about ensuring that the government cannot easily infringe upon the freedoms of its citizens. By guaranteeing this right, the framers of the Constitution aim to create a safeguard against potential tyranny. This restraint is a fundamental aspect of the balance of power in our society. The balance of power is a cornerstone of our republic. The Second Amendment plays a vital role in maintaining this equilibrium by empowering citizens. In a sense, it's a reminder that the ultimate authority rests with the people. This balance is essential for preventing any one branch of government from becoming too powerful. By ensuring that citizens have the means to defend themselves, the Second Amendment reinforces the idea that the government is accountable to the people. History has shown us that the erosion of rights often begins subtly. The framers of the Constitution were acutely aware of this potential danger. They understood that disarming the populace could be the first step toward a more authoritarian regime. By enshrining the right to bear arms in the Constitution, they aimed to prevent such a slippery slope. It's a protection mechanism, designed to ensure that the government remains a servant of the people, not the other way around. Elected officials take a sacred oath to uphold the Constitution. This oath is a solemn promise to protect the rights and freedoms enshrined in our founding document. The Second Amendment is a critical part of this commitment. By swearing to uphold the Constitution, officials acknowledge the importance of this right and their duty to defend it. It's a reminder that their primary responsibility is to the people and the principles upon which our nation was built. In conclusion, the founders were very clear about the citizens' need to be as well armed as the standing army. Before a standing army can rule, the people must be disarmed, as they are in almost every country in Europe. The supreme power in America cannot enforce unjust laws by the sword, because the whole body of the people are armed and constitute a force superior to any band of regular troops. This is from Noah Webster in 1787. The Constitution never gave the government any power to regulate firearms. Any and all firearm restrictions and regulations are unconstitutional. Thomas Jefferson stated, "No free man shall ever be debarred the use of arms." This quote appears in the first draft of the Virginia Constitution in 1776. Jefferson also wrote, "What country can preserve its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that their people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms." Anything that can be used by the government or the standing army is constitutionally legal for we the people to own. Any politician who has tried to pass a law or regulation that infringes on any of our rights has violated their oath of office and the Constitution. That is what we call sedition. As we reflect on the words of our founders, it becomes clear that the Second Amendment is not just a right, but a crucial safeguard for our liberties. It is a duty. It's a reminder that vigilance and a readiness to defend our freedoms are essential in preserving the principles upon which our nation was founded. So, keep your head down and your powder dry.